Yeah, well, good morning and back home again. Obviously coming off that 5-day road trip with a couple games. Opened it up with a pretty good performance, I thought, at Houston. A really good first quarter that we just completely dominated, and JJ kind of set the tone in that one, and then everybody just followed suit, but took care of business there. I thought we prepared great for Baylor. We were excited for the opportunity. Obviously not the result we wanted. We've talked about some of the road woes earlier in the year. I don't know that the same stuff presented itself. I think we ran into a really, really good basketball team that played well. We really weren't good enough on either end to win that game. I thought defensively we needed that thing probably in the 60s to give us the best chance. Offensively, we got some good shots that we just didn't convert, some that I thought we forced that just weren't good enough looks at the rim. And then we were kind of waiting for our run, and we just never could kind of put that run together to really, really put pressure on them. Thought we hung around and stayed in the fight was kind of the term we were using. I thought we stayed in the fight to give us a chance, but just never punched hard enough, never knocked him down, those types of things. So let one slip away. It was a big opportunity for us. We know that. We'll still have several coming up, but certainly one that slipped away that's a little disappointing, but we'll regroup and move forward, and there's still lots in front of us, that's for sure. But, yeah, disappointed from that one.
So, 5 to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, do you look at them collectively, just individually, don't look past Saturday? What's your thought process when you get to this point in the season?
No, you don't really. You just move to the next one, and the next one's Cincinnati, and that's the focus. And there's no sense in trying to figure stuff out and standings and seedings and that. There's still way too much going on, and to be played for that at this point. So, no, we just turn our attention. And it was still on us, our conversations as coaching staff, is how do we help them? How do we get better? How do we continue to, find ways to win that type of game, which we're going to have that type of game coming up, and we need to figure out ways to win all of these coming down the stretch. So that's the focus.
As head coach, you are going to play 2 games in 48 hours, basically Saturday through Monday. So what do the next 4 or 5 days look like?
Yeah, it'll be a little different. We've played back-to-back, I guess, and 3 in 3 days, so it's not like we haven't done something somewhat similar. But yeah, it will be a quicker turnaround than what we've done in league play. We haven't had that in league play. So yeah, it's the time of year that we're getting as many mental reps as we are probably physical from time to time, keeping them sharp and crisp with a basketball. And luckily we have plenty of bodies. We have great practice teams, so we can limit reps and still go hard, but not have to get as many reps. That's kind of what we do this time of year. Is I still want to practice hard, so to speak, at the right speed, maybe is the better term, but just pull the volume down a little bit. But really attention's to Cincinnati, and then when we finish that, we'll turn our focus to the next.
Coach, what's the story behind you? Obviously, you have 3 home games left. Tomorrow's senior day. Is there a story behind having it a little bit earlier than traditional? Or?
The only story is it's a Saturday. It's the last Saturday, so families can get here much easier on a Saturday than on a Monday and President's Day at 2:00 and whatever comes after that. So no, nothing more to it than the seniors wanted it on a Saturday. So that's.
What about the Monday afternoon game, which is unusual? I know it's President's Day, so it allows that a little bit. But did TV come to you and say, "Hey, here's an idea"? How did that come about?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you. That's a conference thing, so they may have gone to the league and said, "We want that game," and that was the time slot that they that they had open. And so you don't turn too many national TV games down when you get the opportunity to play them. Well, the downside now, though, is we've had so many missed days. Like my kids have school now on President's Day, and so I think there's a lot going on because of what we've missed. So, yeah, hopefully we can still get a great crowd. I know it'll be a Monday at 2:00. It will be another huge, obviously, game, but we're just going to keep saying that. They all become huge at this point, but that will be a great opportunity for us again on national TV to see if we can't showcase obviously our women's basketball program, but our school, our university, Morgantown, our state, gives us a great opportunity. And if it's packed and crowded in there, it just looks a little bit better on TV too.
With being senior night, I was kind of thinking on the way over here, there is a story with this collection of seniors, JJ and Kylie and Kaya, and how they all kind of stuck together and stuck through the coaching changes and other changes that came about. You obviously came in, got a chance to get to know them and work with them. Just what's the story with the senior group, you think?
Yeah, well, there's actually 6 of them, so there's those 3 and 3 more, and I think the way this college athletics is working, there's lots of stories, and they all come from different places. So it's a blended family, if you will. 3 that were blended before we got here, that we took on as our own, that have been fantastic and bought in from as soon as we got here, really. And I think that's what's probably made the transition the easiest. I've said that numerous times, that it's, it was for me and my family, but it was mostly for the players and their buy-in, make it always easier as a coach and a coaching staff. And then we brought 3 others with us that are seniors, and we've had to blend them in, and so, yeah, it's been a blended family that's been great. All fantastic people. They've had different roles, in their years here, whatever that looks like. Some multiple, some 3 or 4, like, with JJ. But yeah, great kids that are going to leave a really nice legacy here, I hope. And it's always senior day, but you get defined a lot by what happens after senior day. So I hope they've got some nice little script to write when it's all said and done.
When Coach P left for Minnesota, it was because of the era, the times of the way the transfer portal on. It was always just kind of assumed by people on the outside that JJ was probably going to transfer. She doesn't. Can you just kind of talk about the story behind that, and then what role did her not transferring play in keeping that core together?
Yeah, I mean, you could ask her maybe even a little bit more than me, but no, she's just a loyal kid, and she wanted to truly leave a legacy and make this better than it was before she got here. I think there's some personal stuff she's still trying to achieve, but yes, it certainly helps when that type of player stays. And talent draws other talent. Like, good players want to play with other good players, and so even like when Jordan Harrison came, that was like one of the first things that Jordan looked up was J.J. Quinterly and asked questions, and J.J.'s looking up Jordan, and that's just these kids these days, they want to play with each other, and you see it in like NBA. We form super teams, and we do things like that now that wasn't before. Like, Jordan Bird never would have been teammates. Like, that doesn't happen back in the day, but that's a little different now. So, and just stability, continuity within your program, I still think is huge when you want to sustain success. I think that's the easiest thing to do, not turning over your roster as much. So, yeah, kudos to all those kids, Kylie, Kaya, JJ in particular, because they were the ones that were here that stayed through it all. That is not easy to do. They bought in. Hopefully they've enjoyed and thought the decision was the right one. But they've been really good for us, and certainly going to leave a great legacy.
I think there's one area on your team that you could get a little bit more productivity or improvement over these last few games, and then heading into the postseason. What would you pick? We're always going to be a little picky as coaches. I thought we had taken some steps defensively, and then I thought we took a little bit of a step back against Baylor defensively. Now that's a pretty elite offensive group, and they've got as much talent on that roster as any team, and very well coached. But when you make mistakes against that quality of a team, they make you pay. They did that to us. It was just the mistakes we made that were disappointing. I thought we had, rectified, or at least we had honed in on some of those. And then offensively, we still need to make more shots. And so some of it is the shot we're taking. Are we getting the right people the right shots? Are we taking good shots? It's what we evaluated a little bit more over the last couple days from the Baylor, loss was, if we got the right ones and missed them, then I think we have to live with it. If we're not getting the right ones with the right people at the right time in the right places, then we got to fix that. And I think that's kind of what comes to mind on the offensive end, is we just got to fix a little bit of that, and we've got to start making some of those really good shots that we are getting that I don't think we're making at the rate that we need to.
Coaching earlier, the opportunities that are still ahead of you. Do you talk with your team about postseason resume and things like that, or is that just not really a discussion you have until, I guess, maybe after the regular season is over?
Yeah, not much. When I think, a little State of the Union a week or so ago, we did kind of bring that up. It's not something day-to-day that we talk about. We knew the importance of that Baylor game. I don't know that it mattered if my players know that that's a quad 1 win or loss, or what that really means. They knew it was a really important one on the road against a team they wanted to beat that was ranked. Yeah, not too much. Again, I don't know if we'll say much about it today. Probably as we get going, or we get to the end, or we start talking about conference seedings and things like that the last week, then maybe we bring that up. But yeah, we're still searching for some of those quality wins.
Your son's still the resident bracketologist?
Yeah, he's pretty much on it. Yeah, he's usually the ones that sends me the bracketology before I ever see it, or the net. He gives me the net about every day before I ever see it. So after Baylor, he's like, "Oh, we're all right, Dad. We only went down to 13." That was the message. So yeah, he's on it.
Coach, JJ's been here for 4 years. He came 2 years ago. What kind of leadership does she bring to this team? I mean, she's played with a lot of different players over the course of 4 years.
Yeah, I've always said she's kind of the silent assassin. She doesn't vocally say a ton. She's not, doesn't talk a lot, although she's come a long way in my 2 years where she's taken it to another level for sure. But she just competes. She's an ultimate competitor. Obviously, I think the best thing that JJ does is she just competes on both ends. So now you can hold everybody else accountable on each end, because she will give you an effort on the defensive end and all the steals and the things that she can do guarding the basketball. And then offensively, we know she's a crazy talent, and so it's just trying to get her to pick and choose, and teach her, like, when do you take over and when you defer, and when you let the game come to you and when you got to force the issue a little bit. But obviously she has the ability to do it, and is pretty special because of it.
Mark, when you talk about new seniors, Sydney Woodley, I'm not sure we've seen someone have as much steady of a progression, minutes count, points this last month. How far can she go here, and with how limited time there is left in the season?
Well, she's still got another year. So Woodley's just a junior. So she's got another year, but she's gotten considerably better, without question. And I thought she played actually really well against Baylor. She was good and aggressive offensively. We know what she does on the defensive end. It's just trying to get her to find those offensive touches and when she can go create for us, because she does have an ability to score. And I think she's getting a little bit more comfortable as this year goes. And a lot of times it happens. I mean, I always think January-ish is the time that any transfer or new kid into your program, that the light kind of clicks on. And so maybe it's starting to click on for her a little bit.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.